Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Elements of Success. I am your host, Talha Jarad. We are talking about emotional intelligence. We are talking about negative emotions that impact the person's ability to achieve in life. We are talking about such emotions and feelings that if we don't take care of them, we will not be able to achieve what we want to achieve in this life, and for that matter, even the hereafter. So, we discuss these emotions to know these emotions best and to know the ramifications of ourselves and to know how and to know and learn how to get rid of those emotions and how to make sure that we delete them out of our lives, or at least be in full control of such emotions. Now we're going to discuss with you and share with you today a very widespread emotion, which is apathy. Apathy is really very, very widespread emotion. Apathy means loss of direction, loss of hope. Apathy just means that the person doesn't have any motive anymore, doesn't have anything that inspires him anymore. He loses his direction, he loses his hope, he loses his dreams, and just, give it up. He gives up and he doesn't care anymore. Now, the problem with apathy is, well, there are several problems with apathy. Number one, it is a very widespread emotion. Apathy really, you have a lot of people with apathy. A lot of people around you have this emotion of apathy. And the problem with this thing is that because the person sees almost everybody surrounding him having this kind of emotion, he doesn't see anything wrong with it. It becomes, well, natural. Well, and this is the challenge. Then achievers in life become strangers, and they become really weird people. This is really what makes us understand what the Prophet mentioned about the time where it becomes closer to the day of judgment. He said, in that time, he said, a blessing to those who are strangers, those who do fix what people really screw up. And this is why they are different. They are strangers because they are doing something different than the society. They are trying to be different than the others by trying to do things. And as I said, apathy is widespread, so the person doesn't see anything wrong with him being apathetic, and he doesn't see anything wrong with what he's doing on a daily basis, because this is what everybody does. And also, those people become his reference. So they become his reference point. So even if he accomplish a little bit more, he sees himself in a very, very, very good situation. And that is really also very, very dangerous, because now even the achievement that the person tries to achieve become even minimal, because anything that he does, it becomes an achievement in such an environment, in such a society. So this is something very, very important to watch out. Apathy is very dangerous. Apathy is one of the things that we have to pay attention to. And as a matter of fact, apathy is not one thing. Apathy ranges from the person who loses his focus for a little period of time, or doesn't have the energy to do certain things for a level of time, to a person who's completely given up and is just going with the flow and not even caring anymore what's happening to him, what's happening to his objectives, his goals, if he has any for that matter, and losing it all because of, as I said, because of these different things. Now, apathy manifests itself in different ways and different forms in our environment. One of the way that apathy, you can know that you have an apathy, is carelessness about your goals, carelessness about your vision, carelessness about your mission, and probably even having them or not even thinking of doing them, because the person reaches to a level. What is the point? It's of no use. So the person does not develop himself, doesn't enhance himself, doesn't improve himself, so he just becomes dealing with life on a daily basis. Another thing is you see this person living his life in a negative mode. He always thinks negatively of things that happened, and he has negative interpretation of everything that happens to him. And he looks at life from this negative perspective. As I said, because his spirit is low, his energy is low, so he really looks at life from that level. You remember, we talked about the universal laws. We said, your belief system, whatever you believe in, will become reality, and vice versa. Your belief really works as a filter to what you accept and what you see. So you only see things from your perspective. The person who has apathy sees everything disappointing, see everything surrounding him as a sign, an excuse for him not to do what he has to do, and not to take an action in his life, and not to do what he's supposed to do. Another way that you can know this, and this is very, very good way to know, and you will find this a lot in people. As a matter of fact, if you go to social gatherings, family meetings, or meeting with friends, you will find this language spread a lot, which is the victim language. The people blame others for things that happen to them. This is apathy, actually, because they do not want to change. They have no energy, no desire to change, and they do not have it in themselves to do something about their lives. So they just blame others. So they blame the government, they blame their bosses, they blame their wives, they blame their husbands if they were wives, they blame their kids, they blame their neighbors, they blame the system, they blame everything and anything, and they just use it as an excuse for not doing things, and to give themselves some kind of comfort that, well, it's not me, it's the government, it's the system, it's those who are not taking an action, it's the rich people, it's the responsibility of those who are at charge, and so on and so forth. So he lives in this victim mentality. He's always a victim for something. He is always targeted by someone, by a plan, by a conspiracy, by a certain way, and that's why you find this person really living this in his life. And once he lives in this victim mentality, everything in his life will be explained this way. Again, going back to the laws, if you believe in this thing, it becomes reality, and you will filter everything in your life according to it. So you will see this person who has apathy, he will try to convince you that really everything works against him, and nothing works out, because everything that he sees now looks from that perspective, and he gives you proof after proof after proof that he is really in a situation where he can't do anything. And then, of course, that gives him an excuse. Another manifestation of apathy is really what we call the game of yes, but. Yes, but. Well, I admit it, I should have done, but if I do this, I'm going to lose my job. If I do this, this is too risky for me. If I try this thing, they will fire me from my job. If I do this thing, the government may watch me out. They might put me on a list. They might do this. They might do that. You see, this is what happens to people if they have this apathy. They start coming up with games with themselves. Yes, well, I should do this thing, and I know I have a responsibility to do this, but, and this is a killer. If you start using this yes, but game, it will never end. We're always going to find an excuse for not doing anything, and that will put us in a cycle of downward spiral, as we said before, and the person will get minimized and will never grow up. You can see this if the person doesn't have dream in life, if he doesn't have ambition to achieve something, if he's not having goals, if he's not having objectives, if he's not clear on what he wants to achieve in life. So this is another manifestation of apathy, that this person really just lives life as it is. He just goes with the flow, and he goes with the current, and he doesn't really care much about it. So he doesn't really come up with a plan. He doesn't come up with goals. He doesn't fight for it. He doesn't work hard to achieve it. He's just living it as it is. So this is also another manifestation of apathy, and this is also another way where you can know whether you have it in yourself. That's the apathy attitude or the apathy emotion or not. Another thing is that you find people trying to avoid challenges, trying to avoid things that challenge them, whether they are situations, whether they are people, whether they are incidents, with our jobs. They try to avoid challenges. Why? Because they just want to live on the side. They just want to stay away. They just don't want to get involved. And this is a sign of apathy. You know, they don't look for a change in job because, well, it is just going well, and it's nothing to be challenging anymore. So they don't want to go in any process of change, any process of doing something different, and they stay with this thing, and that, of course, puts them in a cycle of further and further apathy. And they will continue doing this thing, and from one thought to another thought, from one thought to another thought, and they keep doing this till they completely lose their ambition, they completely lose their dream in life, they completely lose their values, they completely become just really bysiders. They have no contribution in life. They are really living it minute by minute. Now, another thing that you can see people having this kind of apathy, and this is really a very good sign, because I know a lot of people really they get behind because of this thing, is not watching out their health, not watching out their physical fit. They don't watch out themselves in terms of what they eat, and they don't watch out themselves in terms of their exercise. They don't watch out themselves in terms of what they do to improve and enhance their body, their mental ability, so they just don't do anything. They just don't do anything. This is very important. Remember that our body is the vehicle that carries us to achieve what we want. Remember, we're talking about success. We're talking about achieving the maximum in life and the maximum in the hereafter. And as we said before, the Prophet, peace be upon him, he taught us that you don't only look for just to get in paradise, but when you ask Allah, this is what he said, if you make prayer to Allah to get you in heaven, ask Allah for paradise, because it's the top of paradise and the best of all, the top of all heavens and the best of all heavens. So this teaches us to be really high-spirited, to look for the best, to work for the best, and to try to achieve the best and work hard on it. And this, of course, involves that you maintain everything surrounding this situation. And one of the most important things is our body. It's very important to watch out for that and make sure that the person really maintain his body in different things, in terms of physical fitness, in terms of mental fitness, in terms of his health, what he eats, what he drinks, and watch out for all of these components so that this vehicle can carry him longer and can help him achieve the maximum he wants to achieve in this life, and of course uses his body for the hereafter to achieve the maximum for Allah's sake. As the Prophet said, the strong believer is better than the weak believer. The strong believer is better than the weak believer. Strong in everything, in body, mental health, and every part of it. So be strong and get rid of your apathy and move forward, and Allah will help you, and you will achieve, inshallah, in this life and the hereafter. Thank you for watching. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.